My fifth great grandfather came down from Pennsylvania to Abington, Virginia, and established a grist mill in 1780 on 15 Mile Creek. And then he was over in Blount County, Tennessee, next to Knox County here, at least by 1795. He was on the first quarterly court of Blount County, Oliver Alexander. And he had sons and grandsons that moved west as East Tennessee was settled. So I actually grew up in Middle Tennessee, south of Nashville, farming. And I came back to East Tennessee 50 years ago to go to graduate school at the University of Tennessee. A little community called Bethesda, south of Franklin. We had a pretty much a general farming operation. We were doing, farm to fork before it was a thing, because me and Daddy grew the garden and took it to Mama, and she put it on the table. I write about it a lot in poetry and family history. So I'm not a practitioner of a lot of the things I learned, and I do feel a sense of loss sometimes of that. Like, when do you put out tomatoes? Or those kinds of markers that were just natural growing up on the farm, I might have lost some sense of that. My mama wrote early in life, and I took it up later. I struggled in English in college. In fact, I say I was an English major. It took me 4 years to pass 2 years of college English. But I've uncovered the letter my mama wrote me in 1966, and she said, "We're so proud of your improving grades in English." She says, "I believe you'll be a writer someday." So what really sparked it was my wife had lost 2 brothers, and I'd lost my mother. So like Horace Kephart, I took to the mountains to heal, and I started hiking in the Smokies, and poetry started coming on the trails. Kind of a natural walking rhythm and beat. Something would inspire me, going back to my Scotch-Irish, like life's tree. I see spring a-coming, I see it in the trees. The buds are busting everywhere, about to become the leaves. And the leaves will tell life's story, young and then quickly old, finally rushing to the ground in all their colors bold. And so it is with life, how little our time will be. So make the best of every day, just like that springtime tree. I'm a performer when I deliver my poetry. So that sets me apart from a lot of other things going on with poetry. I don't read it, I don't slam it. I perform it. And I tell people when I give them a copy of my book, I said, "You've heard my voice now, read it out loud to each other, because it's written to be heard, not read silently from a piece of paper." So I actually got into the basket by mistake, and I also fell into the research by just an extension of wanting to be part of something in a festival in retirement. So this is my own personal blackberry picking basket. It's narrow. It's made out of poplar bark. This is inner hickory bark that it's laced with. And it has a rim on the inside, and that's what keeps the bark from closing together when it dries. And it's also, I put one on the outside. Old timers, the old ones don't usually have a rim on the outside, but I found it a great place to put a handle, attach a handle, and also it sort of gives you a nice finished look on the outside. And we haven't shown how these are formed, but we take fresh poplar bark off of a tulip poplar tree and score it in a cat's eye shape and then fold it. And it's kind of magic when it folds like that, because people don't expect that. And a lot of times they will be looking at my basket and they will be looking for the glue line here, or maybe it's made in 3 parts or something, but it's a solid piece of bark.